They did not use those graphic words. Those graphic words, I am the one who's using them because I was in a checkpoint close to where this man was. Sometimes when we speak of a history and we say to ourselves, what really took on? The British BBC told you that this warrior fought in adversity and he saved the lives of many. But they could not describe the graphicness of what took place on that position.
So
if there was no Zimbabwean who would witness it, if there was no Zimbabwean who would witness it and speak to you today, you would have not known the graphicness of what I have told you today. So I understand what you mean when you say, who is this man called, whatever you want to call him? I have called him the Bulawayo Matabeleland warrior.
A pebble.
He is a pebble. That is
anyway.
The still called Titanic, called Chamisa. You are laughing. When I write the history of Zimbabwe, for that the young generations to celebrate and say, for once you and I, we discussed about this excitable leader, and we said it was not fit for purpose.
Thank you very much. Right. Okay. Right. So let us. Right. Jack. No. Right. Oh, my names are Pinda, but anyway, let me concentrate on the new speaker, Jackie T. Gurure. How are you?
I'm good, Uncle Jed. How are you?
I'm fine, my brother. I'm fine. Please take the mic.
Thank you. This is very interesting, Uncle Jed. You find kuti tinenge tine maspeakers akawanda anenge achingoblema Chamisa, vamwe achingotaura kwavasina kuswera, and it's very frustrating to continue listening to people like Badari just coming here and spewing such nonsense. But nonetheless, let's address facts. Let's look at facts. Me, I love to address facts as they are. If we look at this Tshabangu guy, it's not his first rodeo of trying to call or recall elected members of parliament from parliament. He did it in 2019 when he tried to call members of the PDP together with this other lady, I'm forgetting her name, because he was stating these guys are no longer members of PDP and they were elected into parliament as members of PDP under the alliance. So looking at what he's now trying to do, obviously I would like to also state kuti pane previous speaker ataura kuti where there is smoke there is fire.
Right.
I would like to go to the tweet here Tendai Biti, and I would like us to really go through that tweet, because that tweet is saying a lot. And if people just dismiss it for the sake of no, Tendai Biti has mentioned I am not involved in this mess. Let's underline that in this mess there is something definitely happening in the background that we are not privy to as members of this party.
Right.
Because if you are saying there is a mess and I am not involved, what mess are you talking about? And the fact that you have been actually your name was mentioned in a letter to say we have fired the party president / founder, and we are saying now we have got two leaders, which is Tendai Biti and Welshman Ncube. It's some of us would now have to wonder how does two names out of all, there's a lot of party members that we have in CCC. Why is it only two members were mentioned? What does it mean? And also looking again at the interview that Tendai Biti had with that, and so I also begin to wonder he was not really forthcoming. Pamubvunzo aibvunzwa kunzi muri kuzviona sei and where do you stand. Ukada unyazoteerera that interview, there was a lot of pointers. His expression, facial expression, attitude towards the presenter clearly showed that something is not right. But nonetheless, let us go to address now what is actually happening, the crisis that we find ourselves in. Personally, I would call it a crisis because, number one, we have got a speaker. We have got a speaker who have decided to be partisan. Instead of being a speaker of the country, he has decided to be a speaker of ZANU-PF in parliament, where they are members of CCC, where they are members of ZANU-PF, and other people who might have been voted for maybe as independent. I'm not sure whether we have. You received a letter prior to everything that has just happened from the leadership of the party, stating that you are supposed to recognize communication from this part of the party or from this division of the party. And you then receive a letter from a nobody. Unfortunately, this guy is a nobody. If he was an interim SG like he is calling himself, surely tingadai tichimunzwa kuti akaparticipate as a member of parliament mu election yakapfurai or as a councillor in certain wards. Is that not so? How do you then fail to even participate as an MP, as a councillor, as a senator? Uzikanwe, unozongozikanwa kunzi you are now recalling members. But we don't know you. We don't even know kuti urani in our party. So clearly the guy is undermining the people, and such a thing is going to lead to devastating consequences, because right now the masses are very angry. This guy, he has decided to act as a proxy of ZANU-PF to try and get smart, because right now what they are trying to do is just shift the question of legitimacy, like what happened in 2018. Mnangagwa's presidency was contested. He is an illegitimate leader. Then what did he do? He then decided to disrupt the MDC alliance by then bringing in certain elements to question the leadership of Nelson Chamisa, which led to the collapse of MDC alliance. Then he's trying to use the very same strategy to CCC. But now he needs to understand one thing. People are not going to just lay low and say, whatever happens. People are tired. We are coming from an election that has been disputed, and people are still angry. As much as we might say, okay, our leader, Nelson Chamisa, ataura kuti say, but right now, all bets are off. All gloves are off. We have been treating ZANU-PF with kids' gloves. And it's time to draw a line in the sand. Enough is enough. If it matters, let's recall all our members from parliament. Let them resign en masse. And let's see if ZANU-PF can actually lead this country. This country will have to now descend into chaos. Because we cannot have a party like ZANU-PF holding people at ransom, deciding to do whatever they want. And right now they are showing us that we are weak. ZANU-PF is showing us that we are very weak. They can do whatever they want and we cannot do anything. So that is now something that we need to challenge, to show them that we are not weak. We are not weak. We are actually people who love our country, who value democracy. But if you decide to trample on those values, then kusiri kufande kupi. So looking at everything that is happening, to me, I'm saying this is actually a good precedent for us to actually now protest, because previously we will see something is going to come up. And the fact that we said the election was rigged, the election was illegitimate, then it's time for us to now go back and say, right, seeing that they've resolved to play this card, this power card, let us now go back and say, fine, members parliament, let's protest, let's make this country ungovernable until the wishes of the masses are put in place. Thank you, Uncle Jeda. I'll learn from there.
Right. You have brought up an interesting point on this thing that you say that being viewed as weak. Max Lion here, he has put out, a post where he said, I think he is referring to whatever it is, that is happening, right now. Say this may not be popular, but if CCC had put the whole country on the streets when it was established that elections were flawed, Mnangagwa would have been very weak, right now, or out of power. Now he is going after CCC like he did with MDC. You never give such people room to maneuver because they will exploit